Hello everyone, welcome again to Algovritti. In today's video, I am going to show you some analysis which I have performed on Nifty historical data. Basically, I am going to show you how Nifty behaved during its intraday movement versus its overnight changes. So by end of this video, we will get how much point it has generated via intraday versus overnight. So by comparing these 2 points, you will easily get an idea how Nifty has actually generated its point. Along with this, I am also going to show you how Nifty behave during each month. Like if I show you one table here, as you can see here, this table has represented Nifty behavior for each month. Like if you see this January month, it has given only 2 times positive return and 8 times negative return. In the same way, if you see this July month, it has given total 9 times positive return and 2 times of negative return with the average return of 2.98%, which is the highest. So in this way, we will see some analysis which I have performed on Nifty historical data. The analysis and the codes are simple, but its results are so impactful. Alright, so with this setup, let's get started. First of all, I am trying to import this Y Finance library, and then by using this download method, I am downloading here Nifty 50 data. I have taken start date as 1st of January 2015 and end date as 31st of October 2025. I am interested in daily changes, that is why I have mentioned here interval as a 1 day. So if I run this cell, it will return us the OHLC value. Let me run it and show you. As you can see here, we have a date column, then closing value, high, low and open value. Along with all this, we have this volume column also. But because it's a index data, so the volume column is not required here. So let me drop this volume column. So to drop the volume column, I'm using this simple line of code, that is nifty.drop, and then mention here the column name. If I execute this cell, it will drop the volume column and give us a clean data frame. As you can see, we have a record from 2nd of January 2015 to 24th of October 2025, because the last trading day was 24th of October when I am recording this video. Alright, so now we have a clean data frame. Now let's calculate the intraday changes. When I say the intraday changes, let me explain it. What I mean to say here, if you see this current candle, if I want to calculate the intraday changes for this candle, then I have to first take the closing price for this candle, which is this one, and then subtract it with the opening price, which is this one. So the range between these two prices is known as intraday changes, and the same logic I have applied here. As you can see, first I have taken this Nifty close value, then subtract it with the Nifty's open value. I am interested to save this result into a new column known as intraday changes. Let me run this cell and you will see this time we have a new column named as intraday changes, which contains intraday changes for each day. If there is a negative value, it means there was a red candle, and if there is a positive value, it means there was a green candle. Now if I sum up all this value from intraday change column, then we will get how much point Nifty has generated via its intraday movement. So let me add all these points. So to add it, I am using this simple dot sum function over the intraday change column. So let me execute this cell and you see an interesting data, like it has lose 24,440 point. I hope you get it right. And the interpretation for this analysis is Nifty has lose this much of point via its intraday movement. So how Nifty has generating its points? Now let's calculate the overnight changes. When I say overnight changes, it's mean to calculate the overnight change. If we talk about these two candles, first I need to take this open price for the current candle and then subtract it with the closing price for the previous candle, and the gap between these two price range is known as overnight changes. The same logic I have applied here. As you can see, if you see this line, First, I have taken the opening price for the current day and then subtract it with the closing price for the previous day. And whatever it written, I want to store the result into a new column named as overnight changes. Let me execute this cell also and see, this time you have a new column named as intraday changes, which contains the respective value for each day. If there are a negative value, it means there was a gap down, and if there is a positive value, then it means there was a gap up. Now let's sum up all these values so that we can get the total point the Nifty has generated via gap up and gap down. So again, I am using this simple dot sum function on the overnight change column. Now let me run this cell. If you see, Nifty has generated in total 41,947 point via gap up and gap down. Alright, now we have a two different point. One is the total change which Nifty has generated during gap up and gap down, and another is the total change the Nifty has generated via intraday. So as you can see here, in total we only lose the point via intraday. And if you see the overnight changes, it's a huge, right? It's a 41,900 and the Nifty is somewhere 25,795. So by seeing these 2 points, we make one statement here that Nifty has only generated all its point via gap up because it's a positive value. It means Nifty has only generated its points which are sustainable via gap up opening. Alright, now let me draw a plot between these 2 points so that we have a clear picture. There is a yellow line which represent the overnight changes, and there is a blue line which represent the intraday changes, which is continuously losing its points. As you can see here, there is a downtrend continuous, and all these analysis I have performed on 10 year of data. So the last 10 year of data is huge to make a statement. If there is a continuously a downfall, then again in the upcoming year we are only going to lose point in total during intraday. So all the point which Nifty has generated only via the gap up which are sustainable. Alright, now let's deep dive into this analysis, and this time I want to count the total positive days, total negative days, and what is the percentage of the positive day and what is the percentage of negative day for the intraday. So if I run this cell, we have a total this much of trading day in the last 10 year or 11 year, whatever the data, because I am taking the data from 2015 to 2025, as you can see here. So the total trading day was this much, and we have a positive day, which means there are a green candle during intraday movement was 1243. There was a negative candle, it means red candle, which Nifty has generated is this much via the intraday movement. And if I talk about the win rate, okay, if you see this line, there is a 46% chance that Nifty has created a green candle, and in total it has lost this much of point. The same analysis let's perform on overnight changes. So as you can see, we have a same number of trading days, but there are 1817 days where Nifty has gap up and only 843 where Nifty has gap down. If you talk about the win rate, we have a 68% of win rate for the gap up, and for gap down there was a 31%, and in total Nifty has generated this much of point via gap up because it's positive in total. So all the point which Nifty has made via gap up only. So after seeing this type of analysis, we can make an statement: long-term index growth is mainly fueled by overnight move, not by the intraday. Okay, I hope you get all this point here which I am trying to explain it. If you have any doubt in any line of code, please mention in the comment box. I will try to fix it.